We had been involved with Forgotten Children Worldwide on a limited basis, and we finally kind of talked about it and prayed about it and decided that we really wanted to go ahead and start sponsoring a child. We kind of narrowed it down to, I believe, three or four kids. We decided on a boy named Keith. His bio pretty much sold us over, plus his smile. He just had this just amazing smile that we really can't even put into words, but had a little bit of orneriness with just a genuinely good kid. Kind of talked about how he took care of his mother, who was in failing health. He would take her to church. He was involved with the choir, some of his favorite school subjects, and I think when we saw him, we pretty much knew, like, yep, that's him. March of 2012, 2013, only a few months after we started sponsoring him, we kind of out of nowhere got this email with an opportunity to travel to Kenya.
We had only been married maybe 6 months at the time. So we had just finished paying for a wedding. We're young professionals. We have a young marriage. We have young incomes. So we don't have a huge pot of money sitting aside to just be able to take advantage of experiences like this. But like Andre said, we really prayed about it and thought about it, and just this felt different. So we did not know that we would be able to meet Keith on this trip when we were first given the opportunity. We felt the calling even before knowing that piece of that important detail. You know, we still felt like we needed to go just because we're very interested and supportive of the work of Forgotten Children Worldwide, and we really wanted to take advantage of the opportunity to see the work firsthand. We started putting two and two together. Well, wait a minute. Keith is from Kenya. Keith is from Nairobi. Where are we going in Kenya? And in fact, we were going to Nairobi. And when we brought that to the trip leaders' attention, they were able to contact their local partners and arrange time for us to see them.
So we knew the day that we were going to meet him, you know, so we woke up that morning, and we were definitely both very excited, you know, I think anxious, nervous, all the above, basically. When we went, we were with our whole team that traveled with us. We were at a school, so there was hundreds of kids around us. There was teachers, everybody, you know, I think there's some construction going on, so we were surrounded by a lot of people. But when we met him, it felt like it was just the three of us. He took us to his class. His class was in session, so all the desks were filled with all of his all of his friends. And he went up and down each row and introduced us to each one of those kids. I shook their hands, said, nice to meet you. I think you just kind of did like a nod, like nice to meet you nod. And he was so excited. After we met everybody, he showed us some of his homework, some of his favorite classes, his books. And it was really funny because we were looking at his homework, and Stasha pointed out that he had better handwriting than I did. He had excellent handwriting. It was really amazing.
Watching him interact with Andre, you know, an 11, 12-year-old boy interacting with someone that he's looking up to. I mean, that's giving him the opportunity to have an education in a country where education is not a guarantee and makes the difference between extreme poverty and a sustainable future. And he was interacting with the man that was allowing that to happen. And so watching them, I couldn't say anything. I was afraid that I was gonna cry, and I didn't want to do that. You know, we only had a short time with them, so I didn't want to fill the time with tears.
So after we got done meeting all his friends in his classroom, and we kind of hung out there for a while, one of the gentlemen that went with us in our group did like a little lesson on the chalkboard, and we were starting to make our way out towards the yard. We're leaving the building, and I don't know, it just kind of came to me that, and we've seen a lot of people play soccer there. It's really big there, and anybody, I feel like that's, no matter what country you're in, you know, even third world countries have heard, or at least have seen, you know, the jump up side chest bump. And for some reason, I just thought to ask Keith. I'm like, I kind of said, I'm like, you know what that is? He's like, oh yeah, absolutely, you know. And so like, let's do it. So everybody got their cameras out, and I mean, he just nailed it. Like he's done it 100 times before. I mean, it was definitely one of those moments I'm never gonna forget.
We have more of a personal connection now because he knows us and we know him, and so those pictures that we receive from each other during each of those mailings mean something more because we know the face behind that picture now. It's not just a face on a piece of paper. That one child is a real person that we hugged and laughed with and had conversations with, and is a real person with real goals and hopes and dreams. And meeting him in person, I think, really brought that home for us.
Just thinking about that many miles away, we have somebody that we, pray for daily, that we love, that we've met, that we've hugged.
And that relies on us.
Right. That's an excellent point. That relies on us.
Forgotten Children Worldwide provides an avenue for us to be able to connect with our global brothers and sisters, and is a medium that reminds us that there are needs outside of our own circles. There are needs outside of our own silos. And if those needs touch our hearts, then we're called to do something about them.
I really think Forgotten Children Worldwide, I think they save lives. At the end of a year, a for-profit company will figure out how much they made that year. I think of Forgotten Children Worldwide, they are saving multiple lives. Even if they save one, like a life is priceless.